It always, yeah, and see, that's what I do. You gotta go with the flow, bro.
You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
Share the same shit between.
I know you do. I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. You're a pusher.
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place. You should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chain. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. Today is December 6th, 2023. Listen, we got a special show for y'all tonight. Look, first and foremost, before I introduce my brother, I want to say happy birthday to my biological brother, Victor Hansboro. I love you, bro. Happy birthday to my brother. If you know me, you know my brother. From day one, that's been my guy ever since we was crawling. Still is. Always got my back, always support me. I love you, bro. Happy birthday. All right, now, today, we got... So I'm switching it up a little bit. All right, normally I got my... I'm in a different part of the studio right now. I'm in the basement, thank God. 2024 is approaching, so I want to switch up some things. We're gonna have live guests come on, like my brother Victor, CEO, right here, so we can get in deep with these poets and these spoken word artists, these authors, these CEOs, and see what makes them tick, how they're able to do what they do, and what inspires them to do what they do. So, as always, you can get my books on Amazon, or you can hit me up at John Hansboro, the number 13 at gmail.com, or you can hit me on Instagram, Facebook, any of the other social media sites, and I'll send you a book, get you a book, whatever you need. I got you, all right? This is being brought to you by Lady J Media, Butterfly Entertainment. This platform is What Up Baltimore TV. Listen, if you haven't subscribed to the page yet, or downloaded the page from YouTube, what is wrong with you? You gotta subscribe to the page, y'all. We gotta support each other. Come on. We gotta support each other. All right. Now, somebody who knows all about support. To my right, to your left on the screen, my man, my guy, Victor, CEO in the house tonight, y'all. All right, listen. This is serious business right here. This guy wears many different hats. Very active in our community. Him and his wife, shout out to Aneski Anakinzat. Him and his wife, the poetry couple is what I call them. He just said something about that, and that's what I called them when I first met him too. I never met a couple that both were in poetry and were serious about it and have a story that's inspiring, right? So I want to introduce you all to Vic, the CEO, everybody. Vic, the CEO in the house tonight. My man, all right. Vic, so tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
As the brother said, Victor CEO. Y'all can find me on Instagram, Victor Deloach Bay. Del Vic Moving and Harlan on Instagram. Our publishing company page for authors on Instagram. That's the number 4_AUTHORS. I'm co-CEO of publishing company for authors with my wife. He said Neskiana Capset. That's our performance name. Oddly enough, we met freshman year at high school of City College. And we both were well-read people, pretty educated. Unbeknownst of each other at separate times and separate places, we both tried to venture into publishing. Me, I tried to publish my older brother's book. He slacked on some things, neither here nor there. And then when we linked back up, she would just talk to me about books she was working on. I fell into another incarceration, a violation that shouldn't have happened. A DUI arrest when I wasn't even under the influence, and the witness told the state trooper that the other driver was at fault. They told her daughter, and her daughter's fiance to go ahead about their business. Sat me down for 20 months for a first offense DUI. I lost like a 6-figure contract. Lost a lot of money, a lot of business on that shit, man. Yeah, right. Dead ass. But we still kept pushing and moving. And I actually, while I was incarcerated, I was in Pennsylvania. We actually got our first outside contract.
Okay.
So a guy that we started dealing with, he had some situations where we had to part ways, but that ventured us into publishing other people other than our own works.
So that's where Full Office came from, the publishing?
Well, actually, it started with my wife. She was already trying to publish her book.
Okay. And
what happened was she started going through the process, and a company offered to publish her book. And it was something ridiculous, like $4,000 or $5,000, something ridiculous.
Same here.
The thing is, all they was going to do was type up the book. They wasn't going to offer no editing. They wasn't going to do any type of promotion, anything of that nature. So she figured she should go ahead and do it herself. Right? One thing we learned is that her first book, Poison Ivy, is actually the only book under 4 authors that we technically don't have the rights to. Because we didn't know about purchasing our own ISBNs. Well, she didn't know at the time.
Say that again, purchasing your
own ISBN.
ISBN.
So
listen closely.
Matter of fact, that's one of her biggest poems and a lot of people's favorite poem, ISBN. I'm sick of being a nigga by Neskiana Capset. Check it out. Now, she figured out how to self-publish on her own. And she didn't know, however, that if you purchase your ISBN through Kindle, through the publishing platform you're using, that it's like an artist and a producer. The company owns the rights to the music. Same thing, the company owns the rights to the books.
Right.
We are unique as a publishing company because we actually actively try to make sure that our authors gets the rights to their books. Right. If they so choose to. Right. We've had clients who just said, no, y'all keep the rights, y'all deal with all that. But we implore people, we always tell people, we'll show you how to do this yourself, but you see the tediousness and stuff, but you come holler at us, we're going to charge you. Right. Plain and simple.
A lot of people don't want to do the work or the research. So you got to understand, when you don't do that, someone is going to charge you to do the work and research for you that you're not going to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's how that works in business. You can't just expect somebody to just do it for you for free. We all got bills. We all have things going on. Right?
And people expect that friend family discount all that time. Discounts come to support us. If you showed up at one event, spent $10, $20 on a ticket, and then want to get $80 worth of books for $60, I don't see how that math is mathing. And what I learned, like one of my bros, man, him and his wife, they have a candle business, Sacred Ashes. Shout out to Sacred Ashes. Matter of fact, they just was interviewed on WJZ this morning.
Okay.
And you met them Ashes. Yeah, you met them. They came up to see Roses and was selling candles up there.
Okay.
So they do a lot of different spots on the videos. The farmers market under the bridge, they be down there with the weather permits right down there. Okay. So they be putting their work in, and they was interviewed on WJZ today. And me and Sis was talking about it the other day, how a lot of times your customer base ain't your family and your friends.
Absolutely.
They'll talk some stuff, they'll post some stuff, maybe, but the people who's going to actually spend their money and treat you like a business be the strangers.
Sometimes people you don't even know. Yeah. They could definitely be some of your biggest supporters. I can attest to that.
Man, I had a client one time, it was a wife's friend, one of my wife's friends, her cousin, and they were cool too. And the husband was fine. Me and the husband understood what's going on, and they the contract, I ended up losing $1 and some change on the contract. And because the sister actually just, when I pulled off, just moved on me. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, supposed to send some money. She said, I'm sending this. And I said, but y'all had me do this. They had me, I'm a moving company.
Because of, I feel like a lot of times our culture, we take advantage of each other when we have our own businesses. You know what I mean? We do.
We wouldn't go do that with the other man.
Exactly. We definitely wouldn't. And I've seen it happen over and over again.
And see, and let me tell you this. I know we have like the best rates with the moving business. I'm going to tell you why. Most moving companies start off 100, 115 an hour period. Okay. That's 2 men and about a 15, 16 foot truck. Now, technically, no moving company is supposed to move anything that you didn't put on the list. That's why when you call movers, they ask
you. So you were going over and beyond, of course.
I know how it is, bro. So they ask for videos and footage so they can see what needs to get moved. Anything that's not packed up, they have what's called full service moves, which means we come in and pack everything up for you. We pack your house up. We do that one day, then we come back another day, move your stuff out. If it goes to storage, we take it to storage. If it's going home, out of state to a new home, wherever it's going to, we take it there. Now, what they don't understand is if it's not packed up and ready to be moved, it's not secured to be moved, we're not supposed to touch it.
Right.
Now, my company, on the other hand, I consistently go into people's homes who have more stuff than what they said. Say they got 25 boxes, got 70 boxes.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
And people don't expect to get paid for this. There's companies that will charge you for taking out screws. They'll give you 8 screws for free. Speaking on this, I don't know if y'all heard my son in the background. Quiet down, son. But
we live. Listen. I wanted my man Vic to come over today to do some poetry for me and for us, for him, for everybody, because this is truly a release for both of us. This is therapeutic. This is how we able to get a lot of stuff off as kings. And I just said kings. That's exactly what I said. As kings, you have to find ways to keep yourself level-headed. When you have families, when you're doing things in the community, because there's a lot of things, a lot of people come at you. You're dealing with a lot of different situations as men, as women too. But you got to find things that help you to release, so you're just not yelling and screaming at random people for no goddamn reason, you know, all because somebody cut you off or you was in line and the lady at the clerk said, well, my lane is closed after this person or whatever. You know what I mean? Poetry for me is therapy. I say it all the time. That's one of my favorite poems, my top 5 favorites. And with poetry, it helps me to release and get off just about any and everything. A lot of us as men, we don't share and talk about the shit that we deal with. We keep it tucked away somehow. You know what I mean? So I want my man to do some poetry for you guys because he's got 2 poems. This one, I'm alive. What's the name of it? I'm Still Alive. When I first heard this poem, it reminded me of all of the shit that I was dealing with in the journey of getting to where I am right now, because I'm still in a journey. I'm not at the finish line by a long shot. But I was a man that was working 60 hours, 70 hours a week, working for someone else, you know what I mean? A company that was taking good care of me or whatever, but at the same time, I had no stock in it. I had no investment in it other than just getting up and going there every day and driving that company vehicle, you know, when I always had dreams of owning something of my own, having something I can give to my children. So I wrote my first book, Unusual Favor. That led to this, right? That went into poetry because writing is something that helps me to release and get off so much. So when I heard him do this poem, I'm Still Alive. I'm telling you, man, the first time I heard it, Vic, I was fighting back and holding in so many muscles not to release and just break down. You know what I mean? Because you really hit some nerves with that one when I heard it. This was in a play that him and his wife did called I Am Woke, a poetical experience that I was a part of. So before we get started, if we can go ahead and do that one if you want real quick, and then we can get into some other ones.
Now, first of all, John was in the play too. Every poet that was in our play, I Am Woke, which we did at La Familia and at the Orion over on Film Room, were very critical to the success of the play. So I'm saying that because I don't want him to discredit his part in the play either. brought a lot of direction and a lot of guidance.
I appreciate that, bro.
Definitely, it's facts. You know, I ain't gonna tell a lot about you. So, I actually wrote this poem. For those that don't know, I've done this on here because this is actually the poem he always requests. He put me on the spot with this one. And I actually wrote this. I was incarcerated over the penitentiary. Wasn't called a penitentiary at the time no more. You know, MRDCC, all that other crap. But I was on the flats, and I was in the dorms, and I was the sheik of the temple at the time, the Moore Science Temple. And the brothers in the temple, they really paid attention to the study school lessons. Shout out to Corbett, who was the study school instructor at the time. And we were speaking on the chapter, the burial of Elizabeth, John the Baptist's mother. And the brother spoke so well on it, so eloquently, that I sat behind the podium just listening to my brothers and proud of. Hey, last one, I wrote a poem and I dedicated this to them. And this is the poem that my brother here, John, is talking about. It's called I'm Still Alive. Goes, don't weep for me when I release this poem. Stand strong, because I'm still alive. I've just moved on. Back to the source from whence I came. My spirit unites with ancestors on a higher plane. Let go of the physical, bask in the spiritual, one with the Most High, where we takes place of I, and I unites with us to supreme energy forms flesh from dust. Because once again, with more lessons learned, I become the embodiment of the supreme being's strength, but in physical manifest. As I pass test after test, death after death, reincarnate stronger, breath after breath. As I bring more right, as I dispel wrongs, I bring more light as I fought with and battled the darkness and shadows and sword, till I need flesh no more. So, don't weep for me when I release this poem. Stand strong, because I'm still alive. I've just moved on. Back to the source from whence I came. My spirit unites with ancestors on a higher plane. Let go of the physical, bask in the spiritual, one with the Most High, where we takes place of I, and I unites with us to supreme energy forms flesh from dust. Once again, with more lessons learned, I become the embodiment of the supreme being's strength, but in physical manifest.
All right. Yeah. I'm still alive. I love it. Damn, man, you may have me do some shit tonight. But what do you get out of writing, Vic? When you do poetry and when you write and recite your poetry, what does it really do for you? How do you get off all of the stress or things that you deal with on a day-to-day basis with a family, children, working? You know, how do you get by every day?
Well,
and how does poetry help?
First, I'm gonna get an obvious answer. It's a release.
A release, okay.
As men, you know, we really don't get to talk about what we're going through.
Absolutely.
You know, I now at 42, I now more understand why, you know, old school men didn't talk too much. They kept quiet a lot. They let their women jab and let them say what they want, but then they gave their orders and their commands, and that was followed. So now we at a time where we're expected to be more open and express ourselves. So now when we're speaking, it brings these arguments and this confusion because you the man, why are you talking about what's bothering you? We're not supposed to talk about that. We're supposed to put everything on our shoulders and walk strong. And for some reason, a strong walk has been equated to a quiet walk. So a lot of times I had a brother tell me one day, and this was out of nowhere, man, my man Twiz, he said to me, he said, bro, you know what your problem is? He said, you make it look too easy.
Okay.
And I looked at him, like, what you mean?
I could understand.
He said, I understand what you're going through, what you do, I've been there. I do that now. He said, you work hard and move hard.
Right.
And I guarantee you ain't really fully appreciate it because you make it look easy. You don't complain. And I said, why should I? And, you know, and it's a difference between, we have to understand that speaking up is not the same as complaining. And see, and that's what has happened, that we've been expected to be so silent. Think about it. You look at old movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's two things that women always ask for. Two sets of things that people ask for when they're looking for a man. It was always that way. That tall, dark, and handsome. Mm-hmm. So first of all, you were already shooting out the shorter brothers. You know what I'm saying? Got to be tall, dark, and handsome. You know what I'm saying? Then you turn around and they had, I like men that are that strong silent type. Okay. Why do you want the strong silent type? You want a man that doesn't voice his opinion, that doesn't let you know what's going on. Mm. So we have historically led a life where men are lead, and when I speak, my command need to be followed. Just let the woman run the house, do whatever she doing. So now we in a world where the woman is expected to go to work also. So things are getting divided. We started asking for equality. Our women started asking for equality. And a lot of that piggyback off the women's suffrage movement. But the problem with that is during the women's suffrage movement, our woman wasn't included in that. You know what I'm saying? Susan B. Anthony, a lot of people try to give credit to.
Say that again?
Susan B. Anthony.
Okay.
She's a European lady who a lot of people credit to having a big part in the women's rights movement. Right. Now, mind you, when they started going on with trying to get a woman to vote, they started giving so-called Negro men to vote. And she was quoted as saying, and I'm paraphrasing her, but when it comes to minorities, if you're going to give the vote to one of us more intelligent, more able-bodied, more willful to do so. Choose a white woman before you would choose your Negro man. So our sisters were not included in this movement. They were actually shunned and set aside in this movement. What happened though is our women followed in this movement, forgetting that we all got the same fight. So now they got us as us versus them. Okay. The men versus the women. When we together, we supposed to be a team all day. We the ones that have to keep control of our house. When the head of the household is in order, your house falls in order. When your house is in order, your community becomes in order. Because what is a community but a bunch of households? Mm-hmm. So the whole time, here we go, the destruction of our community has been done thoroughly by destroying the home first.
I definitely understand. I definitely agree with a lot of what you just said. I think a breakdown in the home is key and was strategic in the planning way before me and you was even thought of. You know what I mean? And it's still relevant to this day. Get us out the house. Because a lot of times, sometimes you're not able to get benefits or whatever if a man is in the house. So let's get him out first. And then we can shovel you and give you whatever you need, and it's the only way. I try so much and scratch my head to try to think about what we can do as a people to help our own community. And the only thing I can come up with is love. And when I say love, I mean just that neighborly love that we used to do, where we would help each other, do things for each other, things like that. We live. I got an order of food that just came. I'm going to go pick up. I'll let my brother do another poem real quick, and I'll be right back. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to get off your chest, bro, go ahead and get it in. Today is Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. Also, if you are eating right, you're thinking right. All right? Try to eat right. I've been doing something new with fruits now, where I've been doing a lot of juicing during the day, and it's been helping me in so many different ways.
He said that when I just ordered some pizza.
You lie. Go ahead, whatever you want.
Yeah.
You got it, bro.
So I think Brother John heard this poem, so I'm gonna give it to y'all though. For the simple fact that we talking on men's health, mental health. I wrote this poem, and the funny thing is, I was at C Rose's. My homegirl Shamice Jacobs, one of her events. Shout out to Shamice Jacobs. SJS Speaks. Y'all can catch up with her. Man, she's an amazing person, man. Just pay attention. So we up at C Rose's, and I came in late because a lot of times I'm with my children, and I had to get them dropped somewhere before I showed up there. So I come in and owner C Rose and C, he was like, bro, I know you're gonna burn the mic. I know you're gonna bless the mic tonight. So of course I ain't had nothing written for it though because I wasn't planning on speaking. But any of y'all who ever watch any of the live shows we did at C Roses or sent any Instagram posts or been there live at C Roses when John was hosting, you will know that man will call my name out in the middle of me writing a poem and make me complete the poem on screen. So when C asked me to bless the mic, I wrote something real quick. And trust me, my real quick is different than a lot of other people's real quick. Don't smash y'all that, I want some too. My real quick producer's work. So this is the poem. This is also entitled, I have a habit of doing that. I'll title it when I get to it though. But I say, this is dealing with men's mental health. Ever since a child, I've been told women and children first. Need y'all to pay attention to that first line right there, right? Ever since I was a child, I've been told women and children first. That I had to swallow my tears, that I ain't got time to hurt, that it's up to me to be the burden bearer while my troubles are mine to bear, and there's no point in voicing pain because there's no one to hear, and God forbid you be one of the good ones that supports and provides and takes the step out of daughter and son. And somehow you go from being the sounding board for past men's transgressions to being those past men's reflections, when in actuality, the reality is much different. You the type to take care of bills, the children, fuck her right, and could still burn in the kitchen. Strong enough to pull you up on my back to keep you out of troubled waters while the sharks attack and still get you safely across the borders. And when I feel weak and need to be consoled, I suck it up, unsure of my next step, but still I get up and go. Face straight while inside I'm breaking, sure-footed but my heart shaking, conforming to what I don't agree with, minimizing self, because every day I'm trying to prove that I'm better than those lames, but my mental health gets back burdened while my back burns up from shielding wife and children from the flames that come for us. And when I'm hit, I don't hit back. I hold it in. While inside my inner flames are smoldering, and strong I stand while my inner child is folded in. Try not to fumble, because if I do, we all gonna bend. And even the comedians tell the men are dumb jokes, while we're still expected to make sure that we all don't go broke. This is heavy, man. I promise this shit's no joke. And still, gotta keep faith, though I lost all hope, and my anxiety's building, because I gotta hide my depression when it ain't safe for me to leave the house without a weapon. And you got the nerve to be at my neck as soon as I step in. And still, I hold you up when you've become the weapon. And through it all, I still love you. I kiss you and I hug you. Even though I'm so broke, I don't want to touch you. But because of how much I love you, I can't help but to touch you. Because all I want is you. Even when my mind is shattered like glass bottles on a ball court, while I'm trying to figure out what it's all for. And I'm trying to work on self, but I have to work on everyone else. So now I too neglect my mind's health. And when I feel grave tired, I somehow ingest and get rewired, and the lion inside comes roaring out, gliding with eagle's wings soaring out. I reinforce my mental so that I can protect those so shattered they can't protect themselves from themselves. While trying to hide pain from abuse and the scars from years being locked behind bars, trying to act normal when nothing about my life has been known. Because that's what being a man is. But I'm much more. I'm husband, father, confidant. I'm what makes you sure. And all that is okay. As long as you remember that I'm not always okay.
Yeah. I'm not always okay. That should be the name of that. That should be the name of that. And when I saw that performed when you and the family, shout out to my sisters, Aneski for watching right now. I see you, shout out to you. Yep, she shot it live.
Was at the motor house.
Shamice was there, right? I had to work that night. I was so mad I wasn't there with y'all, bro. I saw it then, and I got goosebumps listening to it. Because prior we was at C Roses. Shout out to C. We was at C Roses and with Shamice's event for the men for mental health. Right. You was telling me about it, but you didn't. And when I saw you perform it, that shit gave me goosebumps. It's so much I want to go into about that, bro, because I think it's easier for us to put it out in that spoken word form, in that poetry form, than it is to articulate it to someone sitting. If I'm sitting in front of my wife and I'm talking to her about the shit that's stressing me out, or the shit that I want to say but don't know how to put it in words where I'm not sounding like I'm coming at you. I'm just being aggressive.
But see,
you know
what
I
I noticed is what happened, and this is one of the reasons I say that's like they made it an us against them thing. Because now when a man goes to speak, the first thing that comes out of women's mouth is, but what I've been.
And I don't mean to cut you off, and let's just say, I'm going to put this out there. Not all women and men do about some of the things that we are saying. Let's put that out there.
Most definitely.
I have to say that because
not a blanket statement. It's never a blanket statement.
Right. And I'm gonna say this: it's because we're so sensitive in 2023 and going on. You really have to. I feel as though sometimes I have to be specific in some of the things that I'm saying because I don't want to offend anybody. You know what I mean?
And see, that's funny. That goes into the relationship thing too, right? I've been told that I've now been over-explaining myself. And what I found out is what I've done is because it's become a habit because my wife, I don't want to offend her. And it's like, I'll say things and it'd be, for example, and I've done this with you. You may ask me something and I'm telling you, my wife got the expertise on something. I'm going to be real quick to tell you, go talk to my wife about that. That's what she do. I ain't got no problem saying that. Absolutely. I don't have no ego to make me feel, oh man, I'm supposed to have that. No, I know what I do. Right. Yeah, I'm a good provider. Man, I pay bills. I take care of the children. I got children with me now. I take them to school. I take them to daycare. I pick them up. I run them to sporting events. Right. I buy clothes. I do the grocery shopping. I do laundry. I clean up. I have no problem doing none of that. And I still teach them lessons about manhood and teaching my daughters on how to respond to men or women because, that happens. I have a daughter who has a girlfriend, and I had I myself honestly didn't struggle for it. My struggle was getting other people to accept my child for who she is, man. Because at the end of the day,
it's your baby.
That's my daughter, man.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said this. Check this out. So the over-explaining. I feel like I'm over-explaining myself to my children too much. I caught myself one time, and I'm in the car. I think I had just dropped them off, and then I was thinking about the conversation I had with them before we got to the destination where I left them at. And I'm like, I don't remember asking all of. I asked questions as a kid, but not like this.
Right.
Okay.
Well, because we got that because I said so.
Yeah. Sometimes when you get in the car, see where you're going. Don't keep asking. It's your parents. If they love you and you feel safe, what's the difference in where you're going? Sit back and shut up.
You know what I tell them? You going where I'm going.
I feel like sometimes
I'll be telling them that.
we over-explain ourselves too much because how can I say this? So with the feelings, you know what I mean? Except it's like with sports, for instance. I don't believe that everyone should get a trophy for participating.
Man, that's the dumbest shit
ever. As a loser, that's just the end of it. There's a winner and then there's a loser. If you lost, work harder, maybe you'll win again. I'm going to say this too. Just because you work hard does not mean that you're going to get what you want.
How about that?
But without without working hard, you're not going to get it as no chance in hell of you getting anything.
How about that?
If you do not work hard, you're not going to get it at all. There's no way it's going to work.
Don't shit come easy.
Nothing come for free.
And this is the crazy part about it too, though, right? Because, all right, in some ways, this younger generation got us beat. Let's be honest.
What do you mean with social media having that?
I'm gonna say this. Well, that is an advantage too.
Absolutely.
You know? But take for example,
a savvy teenager.
We've been taught to commit to these careers, right?
To what? Say it again.
We've been taught to commit to careers, and we don't realize that working for a company for 40 years, getting a 401k, cashing it in, getting a pension and a retirement, which they already talked about we ain't gonna be having that, Social Security, all that shit that we buying into it ain't gonna be there. That's not the normal order of things. That's something that came with the Industrial Revolution. Before that, people would apprentice under people, under skilled workers. You go find a skilled worker, you apprentice under them, you become a skilled worker, you open your own shop. It wasn't a bunch of workers. You know what I'm saying? Black's Law Dictionary defines employee-employee relationship as master and slave. And we misunderstand what's going on here. So we set up in a society, right, where, first of all, financially, the whole society fucked and we don't even realize it. We use a currency which means nothing. We're using a dollar that's not worth nothing. That's always being depleted. We use a dollar that's not backed by gold. If you look up the U.S. dollar, it says it's backed by the faith and credit of the people. If you look up the definition of the euro dollar, it says U.S.-backed European money, especially for use in the UK. Now, I'm sure there's some people out here that may be listening and be like, so what the fuck does that mean? That means if the euro dollar is U.S. backed money, that means the taxpayers of the United States are paying to keep that euro dollar afloat. That's why when they had that BP oil spill, it didn't fail.
Right.
Because U.S. had to bail them out, because if we didn't let them bail out, we'd have been fucked. Why? Because BP stands for British Petroleum.
Shout out to my sister Van Green checking us out today. She said, the new children ask questions nowadays because they see more than they understand. But that's some shit right
She's
there.
right.
Absolutely, 100%.
The thing is, that's always been the case.
100%
That's
right.
always been the case.
It's always been the case, but
she
not
hit
as
it right
much.
on the nose because they've been bombarded now.
Right.
Everything a click away.
Right.
I remember I was talking to my children about this. I remember my mother used to take us to the Rosedale Library all the time. We didn't live out Rosedale, but she used to take us to that. So when I wanted to know something, first of all, my mother didn't like you asking questions without doing any research first. That's why I had to learn how to study for. I credit her for that all the time. I can say mine with a flashlight that I just saw her with a few hours ago. She gonna say, "Where'd you look for that?" You know what I'm saying? You figure stuff out and talk.
Your mom worked in the school system, right?
Not back then. She actually retired principal from Henderson Hopkins, Hopkins Henderson.
Where did your love for writing come from with the pen? Like, how did that start?
Well, I'm the youngest of my siblings. There's 6 of us all together. 3 of us are my mother's children. The oldest one of the 2 youngest. And we were raised in a household together. Okay. So my oldest brother is like 8-9 years older. He's born in 72. I'm born in 81. So he went to college when I was young. So this is the person I was with around a lot. You know, when I started getting punished and stuff, my father first was first of all, I had a TV in the room built in the first place. I children do that. I didn't have a TV in the room. I had a fish tank, and then one Christmas they got me a little radio, little CD player, top over. So the whole time I read a lot, because that's one thing you couldn't take from me was a book. Right. And no matter how hard things got, I could always escape with a book. My mother talks about me all the time. He's so busy, I don't read no way that I used to. And she was like, "I used to love reading. I still do. I just." Is that why you did it so much? It took you to another place. Man, it's like it's better than a movie, because the movie I have to envision what you tell me, what you show me, and I know that what you show me doesn't get the same detail in the book. So the detail gives a broader stroke. You don't have a time limit. So it's painting a picture where I get to create societies and civilizations. And I get to listen to things. And I'm a big sci-fi for that. I'm a sci-fi geek for it. And the reason is, for one, my mother taught me young, if you want to know what's going on, pay attention to TVs and movies. Now, mind you, I told you I'm in the board of science. And Drew Ali said in his prophecies in the 1920s, before he passed forward, he made some prophecies. One of his prophecies said, Moors, if the Europeans be just, we'd have a European president and an Asiatic vice president. But when they be truly just, we'll have an Asiatic president and a European vice president. Now, for those who don't understand, Asiatic, that would be a term used to define black people, because we don't use those terms. The Europeans for whites, because we don't use those terms. Just in case y'all confused about that. So now what we get He said these things are coming the third or fourth generation. The generation is 20, 25 years. So that's roughly 60 to 100 years. 80 years later, we got a ball in office. He also said one day, boys, you're going to turn on your TVs and radios, and I'm going to make the Europeans tell you all. They had a Robin Hood movie, Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman. They kept calling Morgan Freeman born. Nobody asked why. They had another one, a comedy that more people probably see with Martin Lawrence called Black Knight. He went back in the past of medieval times. The first person that saw him said, "Oh, you must be the boy from Normandy." And it was a running gag through the movie. Oh, get a witch for the boy, get some ale for the boy. He kept saying, "Why y'all keep calling me that?" Nobody ever answered the question. And at the end of the movie, they finally called him a black man, and he was like, "Right on." Nobody peeped. They just sat there and watched him steal his identity. And not because they wanted to steal it, because he chose to give it away. They kept calling him a boy. He wasn't satisfied till they called him black.
I feel like this is the perfect segment. perfect segment. So my brother Victor does something that I found out about this. Shout out to my sister Arthur Polish Shakespeare. I saw her do some freestyle poetry once. Shout out to our little sister Jasmine the Problem. Jasmine the Problem for real. The last open mic I was at, that Jasmine was at. Shout out to Jazz, man. Shout out to her, bro. I love her poetry. I love how she represents. I feel like she is the voice of so many of the young women at her age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's so good at saying what I feel like so many of them want to say. Like that shit.
Her Jill did the poem for the play where it talked about
when they go back and
violence,
forth, yes.
But it talked about from the aspect of women putting their hands on men. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny. I said something to my mother about it. I said, "Man, that's a lot of men that be telling me about their women putting their hands on."
A lot of that.
I don't remember hearing as much. And she said,
"No,
that's always been happening."
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
And that was deep when she said that to me because men don't report that.
Right.
Men don't go in. You look goofy doing that. Men don't get to say she hit me.
Right.
So we're expected to suck that up.
Right.
Now I just sit there and watch these. My man's are sending me these TikToks with women are slugging their men 7-8 times. Poop, 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 poop. As soon as he hit her back, everybody goes, "Oh, he hit her. Oh my God, that's a woman." But nobody stopped this woman from punching this man in the face.
One thing I learned as a young man, because I growing up in my house, I never saw violence like that. My father was not that type to do anything like that, right? But I feel like, you know, when we was growing up, that's what it was. You don't put your hands on women. You know, you can get slapped and all of that, and you just somehow got to get the hell out the way or move or whatever. I saw an incident one day. I'm going to see my part-time job one evening, and I see a guy and a girl actually fighting each other, and that baby is in the carriage right next to him. And I'm like, you know, everybody stopped getting out the cars to break it up. The carriage actually got away for a second. This dude is fighting off his baby's mother, and then he had to take his other hand and grab the carriage from going into the street.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? That messed me up for like a couple hours. I was so
she's not even paying attention to the safety of my child.
One thing I can do is tell you this, fellas: if you in a situation where the worst in you is brought out of you,
get out.
You probably don't need to be in that situation.
Get out. Definitely.
You know, it's gonna hurt, whatever.
Go both ways.
But it's better to be friends than to wind up being locked up in prison for choking somebody that went too far. You never know what could happen.
I ain't supposed to put my hands on you.
Sir.
You ain't supposed to put your hands on me.
So look, we're gonna get into some freestyle poetry before we get out of here. Because this is what my man does as well. I know he's feeling good right now, and I want you to go in, bro. I want you to go in with it.
I just told y'all he set me up like this, didn't I? I told y'all he set me up.
Whatever you want to get off your chest, whatever you want to say, let's do it.
All right. Listen up. Listen up, all my brown brothers, all my brown sisters. Listen up. It's like we submitting to the oppressors, like we just giving up. No longer our name is we living up to. So here we go now. They got us thinking it's you versus us and us versus you, when it's we versus them. What we gonna do? See, we gotta switch this game up. Let them know who we are, change our names up. Get escape from the nigga and the bitches. Get back to building up empires and riches. Tired of living, getting caught up in these switches. Everybody talking about on the block holding switches. But get this. While I'm holding tools on you, we got these cats out here that's all wearing blue. Holding tools at me and you, plus the shackles that'll have us all locked up too. Shit's crazy. But the whole time, if the father and the mother can get it all together, then the children will be all right, and we gonna be all right. We gonna get some sunshine even in them dark nights.
Talk that shit, baby.
Cause see, I understand the importance of a king and the queen. Queen protects the king, and the king take care of all. The pawn and the rook, and the bishop and the maul. We could use the rooks just to build up our walls, to keep us protected from this shit that's coming. Because we can't be like them slaves back in the day that was running. No disrespect, because there was some that stood up and fought back. And now it was all a bunch of snitches that got them all caught back. Listen, think about it, right? I got Tucson in here. My son Tucson with me. I named him Tucson off of Tucson Louverture. For y'all that don't know, Tucson Louverture is the reason why Haiti is the first freed slave population in this region, North America.
Mm-hmm.
That man was running up before that turn, before them Aunt Bessie was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people who I looked up to. It wasn't the athletes that were my role models. That's why I named my son that. Tucson Malik after my bro who just dropped his book, man. Everyone loves the sunshine. Shout out to Malik Smith, Bo Smith. Please check his book out, man. Him and his wife, I told y'all, was just interviewed on WJZ today, Sacred Ashes for their candles. I really think we gotta get it together, man, and put our communities right. We gotta get our homes in order. First of all,
I think that's where it starts.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
First of all, we as men, we really have to learn to take back control of our homes. And sisters, y'all really got to learn what submission is. It's not a bad word, and it's not a four-letter word. Submission goes both ways. And I get it. If the man ain't submitting to you the way he should, then he doesn't deserve your submission. I'm not negating that at all. The submission goes both ways. See, it was a time when, and I ain't telling no woman not to work, but it was a time when we had real housewives. And I mean, I ain't talking about these women that just sit home, just sitting home.
Right.
I'm talking. She had the house clean. She had the food cooked when you got home. She took care of the children. And you know what the man did? After busting his ass all day at home at work, he'd come home and give his wife the check. She'll go get the bills paid, get the mortgage paid, balance the checkbook, give her husband back money to go out with his friends so he can have a good time and put some money up in the savings for a rainy day. She managed that household. That was a team. Somebody produces it, somebody manages it. It's a reason why that worked. So now we got this thing where we have women fighting for equality, which is the biggest load of shit. And I know y'all what it is. And I ain't talking about the equal money thing. Y'all should be able to get paid the same money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, explain what you mean by that.
Okay, see, what a lot of people don't even understand is the reason why the wage disparity even exists is for the simple fact that women do carry out children. You know, so there are times where a woman has to be catered to, but she has to be given the opportunity to lay down and relax. Now, there's some women who work through their whole pregnancy, but they are few and far between. Mm-hmm. So the reason why the wage difference has happened was because companies were taking in the fact that this woman has to be home with the child at certain times. Mm-hmm. Now we have it where sometimes it's the men that staying home and doing that and take care of this, but we go back to African culture, that shit was balanced. At a certain age, the children were sent off with the men anyway. The men still hunt and gather, but they had to teach these boys how to develop into men. And I'm not down in any of the single mothers. Y'all do an amazing job raising amazing children, young men and women. But there are certain things that a woman cannot teach a boy about being a man. The same way there are certain things that a man cannot teach a young lady about being a woman. I have a daughter. I have custody of my 17-year-old. Anybody who knows me knows that I have custody of my child. That I'm very active with all my children's life. I do not do the back the way thing. Even when I was incarcerated, I paid bills and sent money home and bought things. So I'm not one of those.
That's what I mean where the community steps into, though, because that single mother that live across the street from me that's got 2 or 3 girls that's going to school, that some of them in the same grade mine, and I watch them go down the street too, or every now and then, instead of them walking, y'all go ahead, jump in the car, I'm dropping them off. Y'all can
right.
The mother.
But see, it's gotten so weird now. You can't even do.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Like right now,
you gotta know the car.
All right, so check this out. So one day I'm up real Hansboro Road. I'm in the shop center. I'm about to tell these young ladies. It was three beautiful sisters, all of them gorgeous. Mm-hmm. The one in the middle, it's not hard to believe that she's a lesbian. Not because she looked manly, because she did. She still looked gorgeous. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But from her demeanor and the way she carried herself, and I wasn't incorrect. Now, I didn't care about that. That wasn't my business.
Right.
I tried to speak to them and let them know we had an event. Come on out to the event.
Okay.
Soon as I spoke, one of the sisters goes, "You know we lesbians, right?"
Now you trying
so right. So it made me pause, and I said, "Okay." I said, "Congratulations." So we do have this event coming up. If y'all want to show up for that, bring your girlfriends with you. Right. And they bust out laughing, though. They bust out laughing. And the one said, "All right, go ahead, get your money, get your bag, brother." I said, "Yeah, I'm just trying to tell y'all about an event to come to." So it's men and women's fault. It's not no one person's fault. Because we have these ignorant ass brothers who go to speak to a woman, and if she says, "No, I'm good, I'm with somebody, I'm not single," they bitch who wants you anyway. You just try to talk to her, you want her. Right. But then you also have women who lash out unnecessarily. A gentleman can say, "Oh, that looks nice." Not even be trying to.
I feel like we deal with so much past trauma,
exactly,
that we don't address it
exactly.
At all.
And we just lash it out at everybody.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant earlier about you randomly just go off on people you don't even know. You could be at a drive-thru and they didn't put enough ketchups in the bag and you done lost your mind. You know? And sometimes we gotta think about where's this shit coming from? Where am my anger coming from?
Right.
And a lot of stuff is past trauma. You know, I'm learning it's a lot of past trauma that we deal with, from being children to going into adulthood, all different types of stuff.
Well, society already. We got society that been telling our women that they're not beautiful forever. The whole time, though, while emulating them, though. This is the crazy thing. Think about this.
We set the trend
First
for everything.
All, let's talk about, they got us so fucked up, right? This some serious shit, right?
Mental illness is real.
Yes,
shout out to Van. Mental illness is very real.
They talk about how our women are trying to look like these European women by wearing hair weave. Well, the first hair weave was found in Africa. Way before Europeans ever thought about it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And it had nothing to do with emulating this. See, we have this belief that in Africa we were originally just all dark people. That's not true. Depending on where you landed in the world, man, because we were already migrating through the whole globe. We had lighter skinned people in Africa and Australia. You have the Aborigines in Australia who have gray eyes and long hair, some of them blonde hair. Like, these are things that were natural. So what it is when you do the history of it, you'll find that all other peoples have a trait that comes from somebody in Africa. Absolutely. This is what we get lost on. Right. We forget. You check the migration data and check the history of everything. Mm-hmm. Whether you read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, if you watch the migration, everything comes from centralized places. They have scientifically proven that every human being has at least, I think it's about 2 or 3 genetic markers that connect to a central part of Africa. Now, Europeans have the smallest amount of genetic markers because they have what is called
nowadays, if you don't have a BBL, you're not beautiful according to society. Shout out to the CEO. That is so real right there, buddy.
Well, see, this is the crazy thing about that. Wow. Look at Ethiopia, buddy. Some of the most gorgeous women in the world, and most of them are very petite, slim women. Right. You know, you don't have a bunch of real thick women in Ethiopia due to diet, climate, and region they grow in and such things.
I don't know how that started when I think about it, because as far as I'm concerned, black women have been beautiful all my life. I've always been in love with black women ever since I was a child. So
The most exotic woman in the
big,
world.
small, it doesn't.
The most exotic woman in the world.
Right, doesn't matter. And the older you get, it really truly doesn't matter.
Listen,
you know what I mean? But in all honesty, y'all all are beautiful in your own way. That
But see, that's where part of the problem at. Society has caused a trauma to our women.
Absolutely.
Feel like they're not beautiful.
Absolutely.
Like and I've been doing too. Like you get the brothers, the joke, the athletes, the movie stars, the rappers. Right, they get money, they go get a white woman, that type of joke.
Right.
And it's crazy because now I'm all about unity. I'm all about people loving who you love. I don't give a fuck. It's your business. But for me myself, I have a hard time taking out our community like that. Yeah, I still wear clothes to other people, but you know me, I wear local brands. Shout out to Ugly Wear. Shout out to FOH. Follow our heritage. Shout out to my man Mo Marley.
Absolutely, all the black ladies.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ammo Clothing. You know what I'm saying? That I could go on and on because shout out to Driver Clothing. It's a lot of wonderful people out here that do that stuff, local stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole time we support our own, but we don't do it the way we supposed to. That's what I'm saying. Like, we expect the discount from. We were just talking about this. Right. Don't nobody go to Walmart and ask for a sale unless Walmart give you a sale, and you ain't short them that money. Motherfuckers will go to the car to get the extra change out the pocket when they got to. You know what I'm saying? But then when it comes,
we got 4 minutes, bro. Give us something before we get out of here. You got anything else you want to get off your chest?
I want to do
also before I let him spit something else too. Shout out to Bishop Michael Wallace. Check him out, his food truck, Soul to Soul. Check him out, Soul to Soul food truck. You'll find him just about anywhere in the community. I'm telling you now, the food is off the chain. If he behind the grill, definitely off the chain.
How about that?
All right, my man Victor CEO going to take us out. If you want to be blessed, you must bless somebody else. We're going to go out with a poem from Victor CEO. Y'all keep up with 4 authors. Get your books published.
So this is what I'm gonna do, right? Since we've been talking about mental health, and we talking about how these people were playing with our homes and our community. I want to do something that's beautiful that I wrote. Is this is how we should be treating our women. This is how we should treat each other. So I'm gonna get a little sexual in.
Oh, let's get it. Let's get it, bro.
This is the poem. I actually wrote this poem to my wife. It's called "Let's Build an Orgasm." Let's build an orgasm. Let me first enter your mind, to the thoughts of me causing spasms that send shivers down your spine. Let me stimulate your medulla until our breath creates a symphony, crashing crescendo, beating in time, only meant for our ears as I'm entering, centering your kundalini, my mind aligning with your mind, your thoughts pressed between me. As we exit the boundaries of time, and with each stroke of knowledge, I stroke your pineal. IQ so deep I'm in college, got me woke and I feel your wisdom flow over me as you rain like the Amazon in the spring, causing ecstasy to take over me as our genius works in tandem to accomplish one thing, and that's to get to the good part, to where the mental and the physical begin to collide, to the point that we reach the synchronization of our beating hearts, and every touch gives a rush meant to be saving as if it were our last ride. Soft kisses from your lips to your hips I give, taking my time to reach your center, to that warm spot where I live. Got deep with it, didn't I? Excuse me, y'all, because I ain't even got this all down. To that warm spot as I live. As I suck your rosebud before I enter, my fingers stimulate your Grafenberg till I feel your soul and your explosions. Essence all over my tongue, being turned into an ocean. I raise up and slide in. Deep strokes in your tunnel, I glide in, penetrating you to your core. Yet you pull me in further till I'm tapping at your door. Chest pressed against breast, pelvic thrust. I feel you soak my girth the 4th time you bust. But it ain't over. I pause, balls deep. Pull out your wand, it's all sweet. You beg for more, this love is mature. You love how I incorporate bees, plugs, wands, and butterflies. I'm so secure. You shower me again in the warmth of your waters, causes me to release like first infantry. I'm crossing your borders, screams that wake neighbors, 2 beasts in a row. My soul mixed with yours, I've been planted deep in your womb. You mold and jerk, amazed, another squirt, taking you to heights that you couldn't fathom. Baby, let's build an orgasm.
Oh, Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Victor CEO in the house. For office, go there, follow the page, get your books published and put out the right way by a good Black-owned company, all right? I love y'all. Have a good night. Be safe out here.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.
Like she trying to get him
I've
out,
been-
you know
I've been-
what I mean?